What is up, children? What's up, children? God, I really need music to start these dag things off. Hi, I'm in your house. You're technically in my house. Welcome. There's a whole world of mastering out there, which is why I think it's very confusing for a lot of people. For me, what I have found particularly useful is to start off with treatment and correction. More importantly, not correction. Correcting the problems, and then you can get into treatment and sweetening. So first start off fixing your issues, and then get into making it sound better, and then final sort of overall loudness profile. So fix it, make it nice, make it loud, get it out of here. So once I've gotten through my amusical problems in my correction circuitry stuff, I'm like, okay, let's figure out what in here is amusical and has just gotta go. The next move for me, before I can even get to treatment and sweetening and all that other stuff, is I need to now find out what, based upon our targeting, and this is where mastering is a little wonky. It's a different type of an approach than mix is very, we always work straightforward as much as we possibly can. We're like, we're going to get these things, we're going to check them with the truth, we're going to listen to our reference, we're going to go this direction. Mastering, I have to loop a bit. And it's quintessentially, there's a reason for this. It's because your dynamic profile has to be what you need for your final loudness settings. All of your mix settings have to be where they need to be for your final loudness settings. And there's a way to find this out when you're in correction, because you're going to need to fix this before you go to anything else. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to check our target, and I'm going to listen to our target. And again, for you, it's going to be just your reference. So we fixed the amusical problems. Now we're going to go to our reference, because our amusical stuff doesn't matter. Reference doesn't matter. That's a problem you're going to deal with in the main pre-master. Now we need to check our reference. This is our reference now. So here, very, very different in level. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick a limiter on here, a rough old limiter. Doesn't matter. I'll go with the Pro L. I'm going to pull these back. I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to pull that back. And I'm just going to try and hit this loudness target as is. I'm just like, can I get to where I need to go with what I have right now? Or will something get in the way? Simple question. Let's see what we can do. So right away, this is the best example here. So, if my targeting is telling me that the vocals and the rest of the music need to be here, and when I drive my pre-master through the limiting, that elements of my mix are nowhere near the same level, I have a problem. So this stage here is going to, the hi-hat sounds way too loud. We've got a kick and a snare that are just way too far forward. That the percussive elements in this track are too far forward. They're just too up front. And the rest of the music is too far back. Cool. So, we've noticed now, by just trying to get the level up, it's not matching. Elements in the mix, when we check our targeting, are disparate between our references and what their frame is set to be and what our master is attempting to be. So we haven't even gotten into treatment yet. We're still in correction, but we're checking our loudness targets right away because it tells you all of this straight out the get. It's like, what is going to happen later? You're going to find that out right now. And you can learn so much from this. You can glean so much about your mix and what's up with it in this situation, or your pre-master, or the pre-master's mix in this situation through this type of process. So, we found some problems. Are we noticing anything else? We've got the kick is much louder, the snare is much louder, and the hat is much louder. What else are we noticing? Just gonna keep A-Bing. Drop them in the chat. Got any ideas? The music is a little bit, it's very bright. I'm getting a lot of highs out of this. What other ideas we got? Throw them in the chat. I'm just going to keep going back and forth between these two, and we'll see what we can identify. What else we got? By the way, how many of you are turning it up and turning it down? Are we all just listening at one level? Dump it down. Almost as quiet as it can go. Listen to that. Then turn it up as loud as you're comfortable with. Check it like that. I won't change levels here. Okay? Here we go. Australian, yep. Target has the hi-hats pulled into the back, gives more room for the vocals. Pre-master's the opposite. Everything's on top of itself in the pre-master. Very good. Yeah, the highs. The Wolf has the same problem that I have. The super aggressive highs in the pre-master are making me like the pre-master more than the target. But the target is the industry standard. Target's industry standard. So there's something horribly wrong with the pre-master. Horribly wrong. Hats are lower in frequency response. And the target. Cool. All right. Let's start addressing these problems. Okay, so how do we want to fix this? We've got this Pro L here. I can leave this in play, but I'm going to just deactivate it for now. Hats are dead center in pre-master. Very good. Okay, so we've got some functional mix issues. Let's now go back to the meters. So we used our ears. Always start there. Do not go to the meters. Do not just immediately jump to the meters. I'm going to put an insight now on both channels here, so we can see them both at the same time. We don't need to solo them. And let's check our frequency response. Now remember, I have the same song, so we're going to be able to see immediately obvious differences. But for you all, when you're just hitting your targeting, you should still be able to have a generalized frequency profile. You shouldn't see anything super obvious standing out, like, whoa, like no highs or something, you know? So let's just have a look, see what they say. You can see the dynamic profile in here as the music is playing back. But on this side, you have this big hump. It's almost like a shelf And where the kick meets the subs down on the reference, the kick is so much further away from that low end. And the vocals are all up in here, and we have this big dip in here. So there's two ways to go about this. I'm going to start by just trying to deal with these highs. And I'm going to use a multiband to deal with that. Because that hi-hat, especially if you turn it way down, all I hear is hi-hat. I'm hearing just like that skit from Saturday Night Live, where they're just like, that's all I hear. And you can really see it in here. You're like, oh, wow. So I'm going to get pretty aggressive with this. I'm going to have a little bit of the transient come through, and then I'm going to try and get in here. And you can see where the transient is and where it's stabilizing. It's really short, but you'll see it blinking right around here. Wait for that hat to its release to finish, and you'll see that meter sort of stopping right around here. See? I'm going to pull it a little bit into where the sustain is. So basically, after the transient response finishes, where the sustained frequency response of that band is in level, and I'm going to bury it in there a little bit. And then I'm going to get pretty aggressive. A-B that. That's doing pretty good. I'm going to open up Expert on here. I'm going to unlink the stereo, because I just don't know if that hat is stereo or not, and I don't want it messing up the image, because it will. We're compressing now. We know what compressors do. They narrow, especially when it's summed in the sidechain, which it is right here. It's 100% stereo linked in the middle. I'm going to take that linking down to let the image open up and stay open. So we're not going to limit that the width of that band by arbitrarily compressing it. A-B again. Now you can really start to hear how far forward that hat is. And at this point now, I can start to level match. I can go back to it. We'll do this. Let's do this. Let's just put the limiter back on and check our reference. Much closer on the hi-hat. Go a little bit more aggressive. A little bit further in there. Check our reference. Much closer. Great. Step 1 done.